I can play 3-tech, I can play shade, I can play zero, whatever you need me to possibly play, I can do it. And just continue to practice those things and, keeping those things up and just watching a lot of film of guys who are doing that in the league. You know what I'm saying? There's a decent amount of guys who could play zero, shade, 3-tech, even some that's playing end, you know what I'm saying? So just some big guys playing end, just, watching film on that as well. That really helps my game. Just doing both skill sets, practicing both skill sets, and so I can really complement that game when it comes to the league.
Indiana legend, CJ West. I know I'm allowed to say that, right?
No, but
no, you absolutely are, because you were the tip of the spear of a team that gave a long-suffering fan base the best year of their life. What does it feel like, especially being in that locker room, to feel that energy from the city, to feel that energy from the fan base, and truly show them something they have never seen before in program history?
It feels great, honestly. The fan support was insane for us. And it really meant a lot. You know what I'm saying? Seeing the fans rally around us and honestly having the opportunity to bring something like that to Bloomington, a town that's been wishing and wanting for a great football team, somebody they can come and support. It was great. I loved it. Just seeing, how the stadium changed from week 1 to week 4 to week 5, it was filmed to the brim. It was a sea of red.
You had college game day there, man.
We had college game day there. It was amazing. It was just an amazing feeling, a surreal feeling. I still get goosebumps just thinking about that, running out that tunnel during college game day, just seeing all the fans just screaming loud. Never thought I would ever be in that position, or just have a sold-out crowd. I came from the bottom of the bottom, and just being in that position, I'm honored. I'm grateful for it all. It was a great opportunity, and I'm just blessed, to be able to do something like that. It's awesome.
So where are you training to get ready for the draft, and what are some of the things that you're really focusing on while you're there to transform this great game you got from college to morph it into a great NFL game?
Yeah. Right now I'm training down at X3 in Fort Myers, Florida. And, something I've worked on a lot. It's my pass rushing abilities, just being able to continue getting vertical while pass rushing. And it's honestly my body composition. My body's come a long way. It's changed a ton. And, just keep working on that. Just keep bettering myself every day. Getting my mental right, becoming more flexible, stretching, and just taking care of my body. Because it's a long game. It's a long season. So, the best ability is availability. And, being available, it's the way you're going to get on the field. That's the way you're going to, have an NFL team pick you up. So, that's been my goal, throughout this entire process.
What did you play at last year, and what are you now?
Last year I was 320. Right, and this year I was 315, 317. Yeah. The lowest I got was 308.
Just getting leaner and leaner.
Yeah, just leaner and leaner. Yeah, but just keeping that up. So keep taking care of my body.
That specific size profile, you're seeing it more common these days, right? Because so many teams, it used to be, okay, we're going to have a 330 to 340 pound shade, a Vita Vea type, something like that. And then we'll have a 3 to 305, 3 technique. Now, with all these flex fronts, you need two guys that are roughly the same, so you can have a 2I and a 3, and then, we're going to match motion and kick these guys over. So, for you specifically, how do you balance that play style between, having to be in the A gap, going to war with two guys, either a 2I or a shade or sometimes a true zero, versus the play style of a 3 technique where it's I got my one guy, I'm beating him up the field. How do you kind of play both sides of it?
Of course. Honestly, it just comes with the repetitions of practice that you do. Striking the pads, hitting the pads, taking on double teams, and at the same time working on your one-on-one pass rushes, one-on-one pass blocks, pass rush moves. Because, as a nose tackle, you don't really get the opportunity just to really full-on go and pass rush one-on-one with a center. You're usually going to get a double team. But, at the 3-tech, it's just you and the guard most of the time. Or maybe the tackle may bump down here and there, but mostly it's just you and the guard. But just doing both skill sets, practicing both skill sets. And so I can really complement that game when it comes to the league. I can play 3-tech, I can play shade, I can play zero, whatever you need me to possibly play, I can do it. And just continue to practice those things and, keeping those things up and just watching a lot of film of guys who are doing that in the league. You know what I'm saying? There's a decent amount of guys who could play zero, shade, 3-tech, even some that's playing end, you know what I'm saying? So just some big guys playing end, just, watching film on that as well. That really helps my game.
Who do you watch?
Oh, I watch a ton. Quinnen Williams is a big dude I watch.
Yeah.
Love Quinnen Williams. I watch some of the older guys who was big run stuffers. Akeem Hicks. Watch a lot of Akeem Hicks back in the day. It's Bears guy.
Yeah, you're a Bears guy, of course.
Watch a lot of Akeem Hicks. Grady Jarrett. Deron Payne. A lot of guys. A guy who I really pick up a lot, just helping my pass rush, is the 49ers guy, Malik Collins. You know, he's a great pass rusher for a big guy.
Wait, is that where you got that push-pull from?
No, I've just been doing that a minute.
Man, because you busted that out like 2 times today. It worked both times.
Yeah,
but
nice. Malik Collins has a nasty spin move. Nasty spin move. And I've just been watching him a ton because, like, you know, he's a great big guy who's really has a great ability at pass rushing. You can do it from the shade, from the 3-tech. Watch a ton of him recently. So, you know, that's kind of how I kept it up and just learning from those different guys.
So these environments, all-star games, great melting pot, all kinds of different styles, players, coaches, getting to meet GMs and the media for the first time. What's something you've taken away from this week in Dallas that you really feel like you can kind of put in your pocket, take it with you to the next level, that, you know, either you picked up from a teammate or a coach or suggestion that you saw on film, you know, watching practice at night, because it's kind of round-the-clock ball.
Yeah. Honestly, just being vulnerable to all the different coaching styles you may learn, all the different things you may see. Because, you know, all these guys, they got coached by different people and different players. They saw and experienced different things at their schools, and just kind of picking up little tidbits of things here and there, you know, kind of picking off one thing or pick off something like, oh, he does a swipe really well. I'm going to try that out. You know, his coach may taught it differently. You know, asking him, hey, like, how did your coach teach this? You know, what was his philosophy on this? And kind of mixing that in, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, it's a melting pot of everything, you know. And you mix in that melting pot, you're trying to create the best dish you possibly can with all these different flavors, you know what I'm saying?
You bet.
Yeah.
You know, that's just kind of what I've been doing, and just kind of continue doing that.
You played a lot of snaps in practice so far this week, right next to Jordan Phillips.
Right.
And he's kind of a different body style. Definitely uses a different stance. He's one of those guys who loves that 4-point stance, right? And, you know, sometimes I see you as a shade and him as a 3. Sometimes he's a shade and you're in a 3. And you probably the 2 best defensive tackles here, and I thought it was interesting that they had you guys playing side by side next to each other a lot. What is something that you feel you've gotten from him this week, and what's something you think he's gotten from you this week?
Yeah, he's another one of a very violent player, very explosive out of his hips. You know, he's very quick, he's very sudden. Honestly, just matching his violence. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something I really stand on a lot. He's a violent player. I'm a very violent player as well. You know, matching his violence is something that I continue to work on. I continue to grow every day, and when I'm working on my game, I feel like, you know, if you've ever seen me practice, just, you know, being sudden, being really quick, you know, using great hands. I've really strong, heavy hands, and that's something that I work on a lot, and just keep using that because, you know, my hands are my best friend when it comes to pass rush, when it comes to, you know, run stopping. So I just continue to use my hands. I'm huge on that.
As far as who's coming next from Indiana, because you guys clearly just had an insanely talented team, right? I know Ohio State won the whole thing, but you guys probably played Ohio State closer than anybody this year, right? So who's coming next out of that Indiana program that helped deliver such a good season?
Oh, we have a ton of guys. You know, just to give a shout out to some of the guys who's ended up leaving. James Carpenter, you know, that's a guy I played next to, number 99, who's awesome player. I learned a ton from him because, you know, he's been in that scheme and that kind of defense for a couple years, and kind of took me some time to get used to it. You know, we did a lot of stunting. That was something huge that we did on defense, and shout out to him. Just watching his film, playing next to him, he's such a smart player. He's really good with his hands. He's a great, you know, quick, twitchy guy. But you know, coming out of next year's, we got a ton of guys. We got Mikal Kamara, we got Aiden Fisher, D'Angelo Pons, Tyreek Tucker. Like, we got a ton of guys that's coming out who're just really, really talented. And even on the offensive side, we got, you know, Elijah Surratt coming back. You know, a couple of our offensive linemen coming back as well. We got a ton of guys, and I mean, that team is going to continue to be great. And it's not about the talent. It's not about, you know, the stars that we have. It's just about our work ethic. That was our mentality because, you know, we always were the underdogs. Everybody, you know, if you know our roster, most of that roster were a group of 5 guys who came from a smaller school. So a lot of them were 0 stars, 1-star people. You know, I was blessed to, you know, become a 3-star in high school. It doesn't really matter. But, you know, a lot of those guys were guys who were very much overlooked. And they didn't care about that. You know, when it came to putting on a helmet and pads and lining up across somebody, they were just going to go out there and physically abuse them and beat them every single play. They didn't care about, you know, the fancy stuff. They didn't care about all that. We were just going to go out and trust our training, do our job, and just, you know, put it all on the line for each other. You know, we just had so much trust in each other. So
we got a lot of very confident head coach.
Yeah, and he also just instilled that confidence in us. Like, every game we were going into, we were just like, we're going to blow them out. That was our mentality every single game. We're going to blow this team out, just embarrass them. So, you know, it's a great team. They're going to continue to do great things. Indiana's not going anywhere. I promise you that.
Well, one last Hoosier I want you to talk about, your quarterback, Curtis Rourke.
Yeah.
I know he's recovering from a torn ACL, which apparently he played on the
He's
entire
a dog.
year.
He's like I said, he's an OU guy. He's a Mac guy, just like me.
Yeah,
that dirty, grimy mentality. Like that's just kind of what that was instilled in us. But yeah, he's a dog.
If you could give us his best trait, whether you saw it in game or saw it in practice, what is the trait that's going to deliver him a successful career?
Man, his leadership. His leadership is awesome. Like, he's not a big rah-rah guy. He's not gonna talk and yell a whole bunch. He's just gonna show you by action and just by what he does and his work ethic. His leadership is top tier. He's really good. And he's so smart. Super duper smart. You know what I'm saying? So but his leadership style and how smart he is really gonna, help him take his game to his next level, and he's gonna continue to be a great player.
CJ, we can't thank you enough for taking time.
Yeah, of course.
We know it's an incredibly busy journey. This is just the beginning, but we'll be in Indy. We'll see you there on the field. I know you're getting an invite to the Combine.
Yes, sir.
Can't wait to see where you go in the pros. And, man, I hope you have a lot of fun going back to Bloomington and
Yeah, it's gonna be
as
great.
an NFL player and watching that team continue to have success because you helped build it.
Of course. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. It's been
Thanks for coming.
an honor and a great opportunity.